How's it going, GITV? My name is Tim. Glad to be here. We're going to take a look today at another set of G-code products, or a G-code product, depending on how you look at it. We already did kind of like the product overview for all the G-code stuff we carry, but this is going to get a little more specific. This is the rig that I had G-code send me. Okay, this is the drop leg panel with the REAC paddle, and it is the XST holster, something that we didn't really go over. I showed you in the product overview video, but it's not something we really covered. We have two different holster options for G-code here at Airsoft GI. We have the OHS one, which is, or OSH one, OHS, whatever it's called. It's the open top version one. The open top version holster is really made to be used on your hip. So you use it with the belt mount, you use it with the REAC paddle mount. The open top holster is really for hip applications, whereas the XST has this hood to keep the pistol securely locked into place. Well, actually, to be honest with you, the holster already molds itself to the pistol, so that keeps it locked into place. The hood is just an added safety feature for the pistol. This is really designed for the drop leg panel. So although you would not really buy the open top holster with the drop leg panel. You would most likely pair the XST holster with a drop leg panel and use the open top holster for a hip application. I prefer to have the holster on my leg, which is why I elected to go with this one. And we'll get into my kind of player's perspective, and this is actually one of the reasons why I delayed on doing a video about this, because I wanted to have the opportunity to use the holster in a game, in a combat situation, so I could relay back to you my findings about the pros and cons of the holster. But first we'll just kind of go over the construction of the holster. Like I said, this is the REAC RTI drop leg panel, so I have the REAC paddle, sits nicely into my belt or pants waistline if I'm not wearing a belt, and secures the top of the holster there. The RTI portion of this allows me to take the holster off. I can put little magazine attachments or put different holsters for different guns that I have. I have an M9, so if I get another G-code REAC, or if I get another G-code RTI M9 holster, I can easily attach it here, and I basically have a multi-gun holster that's not really model specific. XST holster, same construction, same retention as the OHS holster. This screw right here serves as the tension to keep the holster or to keep the gun locked into place. So the tighter the screw is held down, the harder it's going to hold on to the holster, and you can loosen it based on your comfort and draw style. The hood is spring loaded, so you push down on this button and the hood opens up, allowing you to open up the gun. Now you can only fit this 1911 here. There's a KWA Mark II. Only fit the 1911 with the hammer depressed, so you got to be cock locked and ready to rock, and then you can be ready to go and pull your pistol out and hopefully have the common sense to put your safety down before you pull the trigger. There's nothing worse than pulling your pistol out, forgetting to pull down your safety, and going, ah, shit, and then you're shot. Alright, so we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll come back with my player's perspective. I was able to use this in a couple of games at Inside Interactive and more recently at the Bob vs. Tim game, so stay tuned, and we'll be back with my player's perspective on the G-code REAC XST drop leg holster panel combo. Airsoft is an enjoyable hobby, but your guns can be dangerous if mishandled.
Please use your airsoft guns responsibly. Don't take them out in public, and don't take them out to your school.
Welcome back to GITV. This is going to be the player's perspective portion of this video review. I've delayed doing this video review specifically because I wanted to use this thing in the field to give you guys a realistic perspective of what it would be like to own something like this, and kind of explain why I elected to go with this type of holster rather than some of the others that are out on the market. When I put up that little mini review from Inside Interactive and I said that I've been waiting for a good quality Kydex holster, a lot of you threw brands at me like, hey, why didn't you just get a Serpa holster, Tim? Or why didn't you just get a Safariland? There are a couple specific reasons why I stayed away from those two brands. First of all, Serpa holster. I have never used one personally, but I have friends that have had Serpa holsters that have moved on to other ones because they were not satisfied with the quality. Additionally, I have heard of people breaking their Serpa holsters, so that's one of the reasons why I stayed away from Serpa. Safariland, I have heard, makes a good product. However, one of the reasons why I elected to go with G-code over Safariland is because the hood is spring-loaded on this holster. All I have to do is push down on the button, the hood moves out of the way, and I can draw my pistol. Whereas on the Safariland holster, I have to push down down on the hood and then push the hood forward with my thumb before I can draw my pistol. Not much faster, I will admit, but it is faster and it is an advancement in technology. If you had an essay to write, you wouldn't go back and do it on a typewriter now, would you? You'd probably use a computer. Additionally, I really like the RTI platform on this. I like the fact that I can take this holster out and put on my M9 holster, or I can put on my magazine little carrier thing on this. So I really like the modularity of the RTI interface. I really like the spring-loaded hood on the XST. And this G-code REAC panel really makes it easy to insert the top of this holster and secure it to the top of my belt or waistline. So I really enjoy all the features of this holster a lot, and I'm really satisfied with the quality. And I like it a lot more than my Cordura Fast Draw holster. I had an OETech Fast Draw holster that I was using before this. In addition to the problem I was having where the holster would actually push my magazine release button, my magazines would fall out, this holster is just so much more secure because it's rigid. And so when I secure it to my leg, I can run around and it doesn't really flop around that much. It feels more a part of my body, and it feels much more natural to run with something like this than it would be a Cordura holster. So very pleased with the G-code REAC XST holster with RTI interface. If you're looking for something with this exact same setup that I have, the REAC panel, the RTI interface, it's going to cost you $86.59. If you want to save a little bit of money, you can go with the non-RTI setup, which is $76.23. Or if you already have G-code holsters for your guns and you just need the drop leg panel, maybe you're the type of guy that has it on its hip, you want to try it on the drop leg panel, I highly recommend it. It is $47.25 for either the non-RTI or the RTI version. So check out the drop leg panels on Airsoft GI. Check out the XST holsters. Highly recommend it. I really, really like this setup, and I think you will too. Thanks for watching GITV. That route, and that's why, I mean, because of my first story, 59 on Airsoft GI. If you like the REAC Drop Leg Panel without the RTI interface, it's a little cheaper at $76.23. And if you already have a holster, there's a train coming. Oh, it wasn't even that loud. Man, it messed me up though. I hear it coming from a long ways away, and then it just psychologically screws me.